Hey, it's Benjie Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org for more info, or you can always email me directly at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. And on the line with us today, we have Charlotte Schoff. We'll be discussing her wonderful book, The Little Book of Children's Tales. Available for purchase through Amazon, BARNES&NOBLE.com. But people, listen, if you want to gather everything that Charlotte has to offer, do yourself a favor. Now, Amazon and Barnes & Noble is where you have to go to purchase the book. But she also has a blog page set up as well through Facebook. So you can either go directly to Facebook, type in the search bar, Charlotte's Fantastic Books, or just type that into a Google search and it'll come right up. So one more time, that's Charlotte's Fantastic Books. That's her blog page. So go ahead and search it to gather everything that she has in store. And I will say, Charlotte was brought to our network, People of Distinction, today by some of the best publishers in the business, Parchment Global Publishing. So if you have a book that you'd like moved, give yourself the best gift you could possibly give and move it through Parchment. You can find out more information on their fantastic company through parchmentglobalpublishing.com. So without further ado, let's get it started. Charlotte, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest today. Of course, absolutely. We're very much looking forward to this. Now, I know we have a lot of information to cover, Charlotte, but before we go into your book, let's hold off slightly. Start by telling our listening audience a little bit more about yourself and your background, please.
Like you said, my name is Charlotte Schoff. I am 58 years old. I'll be 59 next month. I'm from California, Chula Vista mainly. I went to Bonita Vista High School. That's when I started writing, was when I was in my senior year. And I wrote mainly poetry, but I did dabble in a lot of children's books because I did work with children. We had a special room on campus just for children where I did get to read them books, work with them, just do special events for the children. And that's when I got interested.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that description, Charlotte. And of course, today's anchor is all about the Little Book of Children's Tales. So without further ado, tell us a little bit more about it.
The Little Book of Children's Tales is 3 different tales in one book. I have one called Mr. Fuzzy Bunny and Me in the World of Numbers, The Coke Bottle Mystery, and The Magic Penny. And the story that I like and hear the most is Mr. Fuzzy Buzzy and Me, The World of Numbers. It's about a little girl who can't get her numbers right. Her parents have worked with her, her teachers have worked with her, and that she can't get them right. And all of a sudden she meets this bunny. And this bunny gets her attention, and in essence the bunny shrinks her and takes her into his cubby hole, and I can't say bribes her with candy, but he helps her learn how to do her numbers. Count 1 through 10, like her teacher wants her to learn. And this is just an adventure of all of that time that they spend together, learning her numbers.
There you have it. You know, Charlotte, what age level would you say that this book is appropriate for?
It's appropriate for from like 5 to maybe 10 years old. Maybe a little older, depending on the child themselves. Each book that I have in here is a little bit different than the other, so they all vary.
And with regards to the illustration in the book, who was your illustrator?
I have an illustrator that lives in England. His name is John Ritchie. He's one of my very, very good friends. I've known him since 2000, and he got very interested in my books, and he started dabbling in just gifts and different pictures. And I liked some of them, and he asked me, well, this kind of a thing work for your children's book? So I said it would, and he became my graphic artist for my books.
Next question here. Let's talk about inspiration for a second. Charlotte, why did you write this book? What inspired you?
Like I said before, working with the children, seeing the smiles on their faces, watching their eyes as we read books to them, all of the knowledge that children at that small age have, it really got to me. And I wanted to produce something that would inspire the children themselves and help them grow and help them understand that, yes, there's people out there that want them to succeed in life. And I wanted to be that person.
And following off of that, again, as I've mentioned to our listening audience, this is not the only book that you've written, right? You have 3 other titles at this moment
Correct.
that you've written, and hopefully more on the horizon. Well, first and foremost, Charlotte, what was the first book that you wrote, and what was it about?
The first book I wrote was called Winds of Passion, and it's a little different. It's NDS, not WINDS. And it's a book of poetry and prose, which are poetry that doesn't rhyme, but yet has a reason behind it. And I showed it to some family members, and all my family members said that I seem to have some potential, so I should try writing my things down and getting them published. Well, I didn't think I was that good. And I started writing them down. My English comp teacher, started reading some of my works and didn't think that I was that good and told me I would never be successful. And that made me push a little harder and a little harder. And here I am today as I'm a writer of those kind of books.
Absolutely. A bona fide writer, I will say. Guys, you know what you have to do. Listen, next question that I'd love to go into, Charlotte, with regards to your first book, you said it's a collection of poetry. Would you mind reading an excerpt from the book for us, please?
Yes. In fact, I have one marked. It's called Just Listen. It says, listen, listen, listen. Listen to all the sounds that the night can bring. Listen to the sounds all around you. Listen to the cars and the trucks passing you on the street. Listen to the birds chirping their songs to wake up in the morning. If you close your eyes, I bet you can imagine the sounds on a golden beach of your dreams. Listen to the sounds of the seagulls splashing in the sea for their food, or picking up leftovers on the sand. If only we could stop and listen. Listen to all the sounds of this world or in the sky. Maybe, just maybe, we could see things in a different light. So just listen.
Charlotte, what I love so much about that is it really, guys, how often do we go through life, and especially here in the States, I'm almost certain that it happens in other countries as well, but because I live here in the States, I'm going to talk about my experience here in the U.S. How often do we find ourselves just on that hamster wheel of life, running from one thing to the next, and we never get the time to really just stop and enjoy what we have in front of us? To stop and really take in our scenery, take in our loved ones, take in all of the valuable relationships around us. Because what it sounds like in your poem, Charlotte, is really that's what you're talking about. Stopping and listening, stopping and taking it all in and really appreciating what we have in front of us. I love that poem. Just to kind of get a little off topic here, but I think it's pertinent to bring up, Charlotte, the inspiration behind that particular poem and what you're wanting your readers to take from that poem. Talk to us a little bit more about it in detail.
What really captured me was I was sitting alone in my apartment one night just watching people walk around in circles or stop and talking to each other. are busy running around on the streets in their cars or in their trucks, and nobody actually stopped and, as they say, smelt the roses.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really listened to what was going on. They were busy, and there's a time in your life when you have to slow down and you have to see what's around you. Think about it. The Lord made us not to fight, not to be busy, made us to actually stop, listen to Him, listen to others, listen to what's going on around us, and we can learn from all those experiences.
Absolutely. People, this is profound. You know where you have to go. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Pick up your copy. Winds of Passion, The Love Inside, The Little Book of Children's Tales, The Royal Hunt, and then The Royal Hunt, The Hunt for Prince Vespian. All of which are located there. And while you're at it, make sure to look into her blog, Charlotte's Fantastic Books, on Facebook. You know, Charlotte, getting back to the Little Book of Children's Tales, obviously we know that this is a children's narrative, so it's written for a very particular age group, which you've mentioned. Now, I'm curious, when did you first know that not only do you want to be a writer, but you wanted to write children's books?
As I said, I really started in high school, to where when I was working with the kids, I really wanted to give something of myself to them that they would understand, something on their level, but something that they can grow from. And that's what I've seen, that's what I feel I have done in these books, is they can read them over and over, and they can grow in life by understanding what's going on around them.
Absolutely. And how long did it take you to write the book?
This one took me almost, I'd say 8 to 9 months, since there is 3 different books in this one collection.
Fantastic. Listen, last question here as we start to tie up, Charlotte. As I mentioned to you on the pre-screening call, I love having this platform, right, to be able to pay it forward in a sense to other artists out there listening in. Now, in this instance, other writers out there. Now, Charlotte, we've discussed you have 4 titles already under your belt, hopefully more on the horizon. But one thing is certain, you are a bona fide author. You've written the books, but you've also taken it a step further and gotten each and every one of them published. And anybody that's been through the process understands writing the book is only half the battle, right? So I'd love to take this opportunity and steal any words of wisdom you have that you could offer our listening audience, Charlotte. For any new writers out there listening in, someone just starting out, what are some words of wisdom you'd like to relay to them?
What I would tell them to do is to be themselves, to write about something that they know, and the thing that makes it easiest for me is I put myself in those books, in the characters at the time. It makes it a lot easier to see the surroundings of, like, Mr. Fuzzy Bunny, see him there, see where she's at, see the school, actually being there. When you write poetry, you see yourself sitting, let's say, on a beach or under a group of trees, whatever calms you, and you close your eyes and you can actually imagine yourself with those dreams and that inspiration for those words, and the words will soon follow. The way I do it is I don't make a title. I write first. Then the title will come after the words come.
You know, I know I said that was going to be the last question. I changed my mind, Charlotte. I changed my mind. I can't stop. Listen, I'm enjoying talking to you so much. What's next for you? I mean, we have the 4 titles as of right now. Please tell me there's another one on the horizon. Talk to us about what's upcoming.
What I'm going to be focusing on right now is I have another Winds of Passion coming out. It's going to be Winds of Passion 2, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to call it. I believe it was Dreams on the Horizon, and it's basically the same thing. It's a lot of on the beach scenes, a lot of what's inside my heart that I want to give others. I write a lot about depression because I have depression, and I want people to understand that there's others out there that have the same things that they have and that have felt the same things they have and don't mind talking about it. And maybe that'll open up a world for another writer to write about what they're going through.
I absolutely love it. And people, you know what I love even more? Is we're at the end of the interview now. We've discussed so much information, and yet somehow, some way, we've barely scratched the surface. I mean, there's still so much left to be discovered. You know where you have to go. I'm going to say it for you once more, even though I know I don't have to, but let's just make sure we re-impress it. We're here on the line with Charlotte Schoff. We just finished discussing her wonderful book, The Little Book of Children's Tales, available for purchase through Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble. But make sure you look into her other books, Winds of Passion, The Love Inside, The Royal Hunt, and then The Royal Hunt, The Hunt for Prince Vespian, all of which, again, are available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Check out her blog on Facebook, Charlotte's Fantastic Books, and really get involved with everything that she has in store. And also, as she's just said, there's another poetry book on the horizon. So check in frequently. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Fantastic journey for you to embark upon yourself, with your children, but an even better gift for you to get for someone else. So head on over there and pick up your copies today. Charlotte, this has been an absolute pleasure, such an honor. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you very much.